Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert. Welcome back to the TED Show. We are continuing our celebration of Black History Month here on the TED Show with a very dear friend. She's talented, she's beautiful, she's glimmery, she's shiny today. She's always like that. The one and only Maurita Sutton-Brown is on the show. We're going to talk about her life, her journey, get some insights from her about her thoughts on Black History Month and how she celebrates. Welcome, Maurita. How are you today?
I am doing well, Ted. Oh my goodness. Thank you for having me on the show
I'm so
again.
excited to have you on. I'm gonna take myself off for a second so that people can see the shimmery, shiny person that is Maurita Sutton-Brown. We'll continue to do that. I love that blouse, as my wife would call it. It's
Thank
gorgeous.
you.
So before we went live, we talked about how important it is for the audience who might not know you to get some origin story, a little bit about your background and maybe your journey, because we have Simply Maurita, we have Life Coach Maurita. You do so much in the community with so many people, but you didn't always. So let's
Right.
give them a little background on how you got there.
So in the beginning, I'm going to try and put it all in a synopsis. Being a single mom way back when, 20 something years ago, I knew I needed to do something for my two daughters. And so I highly educated myself with a bachelor's degree, a master's degree. And then I got married and I had a beautiful son. So now I have three kids with a wonderful David Howard Brown. And he allowed me to be the woman that I am today. And what I mean by allow is he just did whatever I say do. Right. So you know
Smart
that being a
man,
husband.
Maurita. Smart man.
Like whatever I want to do, hey babe, go do it. So he has been my true support system in being the woman that I am. And I think if a lot of men understood that concept, we would have stronger women in society right now. So with him opening and allowing a lot of doors to be open for me, him being ex-military, I was a military wife. We were very close in the church. I've always been a people person. I've always been someone that will talk to a stranger in front of me or across the street. It doesn't matter. I want to know how your day is and how you're doing. So my journey has always been to motivate and inspire others. And I just chose to do women. And why I chose to coach women and inspire women is because I am a woman. I had the two girls, and I wanted them to grow up in a world that they could be strong in and do what they choose to do. And thank goodness, all of our daughters, we have four daughters together and two sons. So we have six kids, five spouses, and 10 grandchildren. So with all of that being said, the girls know they desire, just like I desire, they have great husbands as well. So my journey led me into writing books, into being a life coach, into being an interior designer. I love things that shimmer, that's glitter. I just love making people happy, Ted. Even being the queen, Mrs. Orlando for the Miss Corporate America pageantry. Coming in first runner up, to Mrs. Corporate America 2018. I love my crown. I love my glitter. I love all that stuff. So my journey has been a journey where I have taken a lot of people with me. So I don't do anything without involving others. And I think that's been my key.
You've got a servant's heart for sure, I feel like, which is a blessing. A lot of people don't understand how important that is. You and I are both, that's a big deal to me. And I think we plant all
Yes.
those seeds with our servants' hearts and we get
Yes.
rewarded immensely in so many
Yes.
ways. If y'all don't know what a
Yes.
servant's heart is, message us or Google it. I can
Yes.
tell you. But I want to ask about empowering women because I think that's so important. I think a lot of people say they are empowering women. I think women as a whole tend to be very hard on each other.
Yes.
So how do you circumvent that? I think we've had this discussion before, but maybe not live. How do you
Right.
circumvent that? How do you, because women entrepreneurs sometimes, well, they get pushed down, even though we're making progress, like you talked about,
Right.
the world is changing. It's still a man's world in a lot of ways. And so how do you get past that? And then once you're past that, how do you coach women to get past women who also want to hold them down?
Right. So one of the things that is so dear to me is self-love. A lot of people are screaming out self-care, self-care. I'm going to the beach, self-care. I'm going to go get my hair done. Like, those are things you have to do. You have to take care of yourself, meaning brush your teeth, take a bath, make your bed, eat your breakfast. That's self-care. But self-love is taking care of who you are as a woman, knowing thyself. So when I'm coaching, I make sure a woman knows who she is before she even enter out into the world, before she enter herself to her husband and her children. Like, self-love is knowing that when I got dressed for this interview, I mean, I know who you are. I love you. I've been on the show before. I was with my girls. Should I wear this? Should I wear that? I'm nervous. They were like, Mom, you do this all the time. I was like, I know, but I'm nervous. But then I thought about it. I know myself. I know I'm going to be so down to earth with Ted. Ted is amazing. So I have to get back to, before I clicked, to love who I am and know who I am. I teach women how to enter in and enter out. I could have put a gown on for this because I know your show is like the bomb. Or I could have put on a jogging suit and workout clothes and say, hey, Ted, I'm laid back. But I know who I am. So I put on my little t-shirt of sequin with my little bling earrings. It's like, I know who I am and I know who I want to portray myself to be to the world. And that's what you really rock it out with. Like, well, how do you do? I want to be a rock star every time I enter out into the world. If I'm at Publix, if I'm at, if I'm Madam President of the Rotary Club, if I'm like Coach Maurita. Yes, thank you. And, the one thing that I would tell you when I'm coaching women about knowing thyself, I teach a little part of leadership. Because, see, being a leader allows you to have that opportunity to be flamboyant, open, show your self-love to the universe, not just, the room you're in. So I have to break down where they've been, where they want to go, and then how do they want to get there in order for them to love themselves. Because most women just don't know.
I think I've never heard what you just said before, but I love this differentiation. Self-care and self-love are not the same thing. No. You can hate yourself and still go get your nails done and your hair done and go to the beach.
Thank you. Yes.
So what a great difference. That is such a big aha moment for me. I love that because I think a lot of people, because it's a physical act that everybody knows they can do, but you can still be beating yourself up inside and not liking the person and hating your nail color, hating how your hair came out, hating how you look at the beach. So to get that self-love imparted and in check before you head out into the world or do whatever you're doing, critical. I absolutely love that.
And one of the things I was going to say too, I love that you brought that back because it's true. Most women will hate themselves and portray themselves a different way on Facebook or Meta, on Instagram and so forth. And I'm like, okay, now that you all gussied up, how are you really? So one of the things that's in my coaching program with Divine Order is how to be with yourself in the evening before you lay your head down. So therefore you can wake up in self-love because you're going to take care of yourself no matter what. I would propose that you do. 80% of us take a bath, right? And brush our teeth and wash our hair and stuff. So yes, but I love that. That's your next question.
Good. Maurita, that's so good because I just think that people, they will give themselves check off the list if they take a minute and go get their hair done.
And like, I did my self-love and care today, and that's not it.
Okay, so let's talk about books because you mentioned you have a book. You have look at you. All right, you're prepared.
I'm prepared.
For the record, I did not tell her that before. I did not say anything to Maurita beforehand that I was going to ask.
Nothing.
Talk about the process of writing the book and why you feel like the book's message is so important. It's beautiful, by the way. I have a copy. Thank you. And I've read it. Wonderful. Tell them what the impetus behind writing it was and why you feel like the message is so important.
Okay, so on my journey, and there's 3 books. We have Availing Through Prayer, which is my top seller, beautiful book, and I'm going to tell you about it. And then we have Availing While Fasting, which I teach you how to fast the correct way spiritually. And then availing into your purpose. So if you're struggling with like, what is my purpose? What am I supposed to do? All of that's right here. Now, let me tell you about this book. I love marketing. I just started. I'm like, I could be a marketing queen. So my book was written so that women can understand what prayer is, because it took me a long time to know what it was. I thought prayer was, now I lay me down to sleep, I pray to the Lord my soul will keep. You know, as a kid, you learn that and you recite. It's a reciting as a kid. Well, this is the real deal. So in this book, it's a 21-day journal. Whether you're brand new in prayer, whether you're seasoned, you could be a pastor and you've had a church for 25 years. This book is good for you. And I know that because I've had pastors and female pastors and male pastors that have read this book that adore this book. So it's a 21-day journal. So I ask you a question, a really personal question between the book, you and God, and you answer it. And then there's a prayer, and then there's a scripture. And you take this journey for 21 days. And at the end of this book, you know, you look back on yourself and you go, I may need to do this every 6 months. I may need to do this every year. It's just an add-on to your everyday meditation, or it's a teach-in on what you're already doing. So the book is really unique. The best thing that I can tell you, if you put them all together, is 63 days. And there are 63 short stories about my life. So I put a snippet of who I am so that you can know that I didn't just make this stuff up. Like, there are hardcore snippets in here to let you know on each day how to get through what you're going through. And what I love about the book, the first question is, when was the last time you heard from God? Like, right out the door. And most women will call me and go, oh, that's a deep question. You know, like, wow, could that have been day 5? You know,
let me ease into it, Maurita.
right. And I'm like, nope. You know, this is where it is. This is where it is. And there's perfect scriptures in here. There are 63 different scriptures. There's 63 prayers. There's 63 snippets. So they're great books. They're great add-ins to your already meditating life with God.
What do you think one of the biggest misconception is about prayer? I've had this conversation, so I'll give you one of my insights and then you can share yours. I think people feel like prayer has to be perfect. If it's not perfect, God won't hear you. If it's not worded perfectly, you say it perfectly, you do it perfectly, you have the perfect, pure thoughts. Everything's got to be perfect in order for God to hear it and answer it and be in your presence. What do you say to that? And what do you think some of the misconceptions are?
Well, first of all, the biggest misconception, oh my God, that I ever got, and I'm sure you've heard of it, where people will go, oh, I got to go make a prayer closet. You know, and they go out and buy all this stuff and hide themselves. And they only pray in that closet when they need something. Or I need a prayer corner. I've decorated prayer corners. But here's the deal. God is everywhere. I will ask God for something in the shower, while I'm cooking breakfast, while I'm washing my car. I speak to God just like we're speaking. There is no disrespect or perfectness when you're in the presence of the Lord. You just seek him, which means sit down, put yourself in a quiet place and talk to him. Have a relationship, a conversation. The misconception of planning a space to have a conversation with God. God gave you everything around you. He's cool with you sitting in a chair, sipping on your mineral water and talking to him. He's cool with 3 o'clock in the morning when you can't sleep. Open up your phone or your Bible and read your scriptures until you fall asleep. He's okay if you're with your girls at a party and someone says, my husband's blah, blah, blah. Hey, girls, let's all get together and pray for their marriage. You can pray any time of the day, any moment, whether it's good or bad. I find myself talking to God when I'm in my happiest moments because I'm grateful and I'm thankful for my friends like Ted. I don't have to talk to you every day, but when I see you or I need you, you're there. I definitely try my best to say happy holidays to you because you're on my list of loved ones. You're like family to me. So people, you know, you have to break this conception that you have to plan to talk to God, because when you're in need, car wreck, something didn't happen at work, oh Jesus, oh Lord, oh God, you call on him then. But God wants you to call on him every single moment of your life that you feel free to. Now, another misconception is, oh, I don't want to bother God. Oh, that one cracks me up. I'm like, he put you on this earth. You can't bother God.
That's right.
You can't bother him. He created this universe. He created each and every one of us, 8 billion people. Now, the conception of how he does what he do isn't my business. My business is my relationship with him.
Yes.
I need to talk to him when I'm washing dishes, doing the laundry. Like, pick those great times in your life where you're doing nothing but something and you just want to talk to him. And that's pretty much what my Availing Through Prayer book is. It's just like I ask that question and you get to think and you get to write down your answer and then you get to pray about it. Because what's in these books that I've written, everyone goes through. I've had more men call me and say, I just want to let you know I'm reading my wife's books and they're helping me. I'm like, oh my goodness. You know what I mean? So yeah, God is available 24/7.
I think that's so important because and then I want to talk about Black History Month because I could talk about this topic with you all day long.
Yes.
I
Yes.
feel like I'll even pray when I pulled into the parking. I had a conversation with God, and I think that's where people get a little confused. Is it a prayer?
Yes.
Is it, you know what? He just wants you to come in his presence. And so
Mhm.
I said, oh, thank you, God, for letting me have this parking space. Like I
Mhm.
just, if you get in the habit of that, and I mean that in a positive way, if you get in the
Yes.
habit of
Yes.
just having a conversation like you would with your best bud, your best friend, your
Mhm.
best girl or guy friend, it just becomes such a natural relationship. And that to me is where the magic starts to happen, so to speak. That's where your
Oh
relationship
yes.
grows. All right, let's talk about Black History Month. So we're doing this series because I feel like it's important to put a person in the community's face to
Mhm.
Black History Month. We have Martin Luther King Jr., we have Maya Angelou, we have so many amazing leaders who made such a fantastic impact on our country, our world. But local leaders, local people do amazing things and inspire people. I have two questions. Do you celebrate Black History Month? And if you do, tell us how. What does it mean to you? I want people to know what this means to a Black woman, Maurita Sutton-Brown. What does it mean?
Well, Black history means exactly what you were saying. There are phenomenal, phenomenal Black people in our history. And I will use the term Black because that was the term back in the day. You were either white or you were Black. So I'm putting all minorities, and people in their own culture consider whether they're Black or white. You know, I have Puerto Rican descent. I have my great grandmother interracial, between white and Black. So I'm a mixed breed. But with Black History Month, when my kids were in school, I celebrated with them how the school celebrated. So if it was a Black History contest with essays, I would judge. As a woman now today, in my community, I choose to do it on a daily basis. And up front, close, in everybody's face, I am Madam President of the Rotary International Club here in Lake Nona, which is called Rotary Club of Lake Nona Lunch. Now, the Rotary Club back in the day was a white male good old boys club. And I happened to be nominated and voted in to be Madam President of this local club in a city of 70% Latino. So when you put all that together, my purpose for that club is diversity, fun, and community. So whenever a white male or a Black male or mixed culture, anybody ask me, those are my three things: diversity with inclusion, community, and having fun. So that landed me another election and they voted me back in. So I will be president elect again, and I'm president until 2023. So,
Woo!
with that being said, being a leader in this community, I allow everyone to have a part of being somebody and speaking about who they are. I bring in speakers, not just white Caucasian, I bring in everybody. Cuban, it don't matter, wherever you're from, Puerto Rico, whatever. My club is so diverse and I love it, but I wanted that. Culture is so important to me. I feel like I'm a leader. I could be written up in a textbook. You know what I mean? I am sitting on a club that did not allow women to be in the club in 1986. The first woman was in and she was Caucasian, right? So I sit back when I thought about this position, people, I get that a lot. Oh, you're president of that good old boys club. Yes, I am. But the culture is changing. Someone has, as a leader, has to change. We have to do, no one likes change, but someone has to stand for change. That's all Martin Luther King did in Maya Angelou. They stood for change. So when I'm gone off this earth, I want to be known as, I told my husband, cremate me. If not, y'all heard it. If he does the tombstone, I won't be here. I have no idea what he'll do. I just want to put on there, she served the multitudes. You don't even have to put my name. My name isn't that important. You know what I mean? Like, it's important to the world because I have kids and a husband, but I love picking up trash, which they call litter on the paperwork, because we adopted a highway and we're waiting on our sign. So last weekend with the chamber, I went out to see that. I wanted to experience picking up trash and litter. It made me feel so good because this is my community. I love showing up and allowing people on the Rotary platform to talk about who they are, just like you do, Ted. I joined the club to change the culture, to have an opportunity for Blacks, minorities, as well as Caucasians and Asians to come forth and speak their truth and say who they are. And I'm a little different. They'll say, hey, I'm going to send my bio over. I go, whoa, 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 whoa. I don't do bios. You get 20 minutes. Tell the people who you are. Tell them who you are. You better tell who you are than I am. See, I'm coaching there. I'm allowing people to not be read off a piece of paper. Tell the people who you are so they can love you from the beginning to the end of your speech, whether it's 15 minutes or 25 minutes. Changing the culture of a club, of a community is amazing for me. We're going to do a June 11th, and I would love for you to come. We're doing a black tie gala hosted by Rotary for the heroes of first responders here in Lake Nona. Doctors, firefighters, police officers will be awarded in Lake Nona at the Wave Hotel June 11th. Beautiful. Listen, people are telling me that's such a big event to put on. That's so, oh, Maurita, are you going to, Listen, people, it's for the community. How do you bring a community together if you don't give out awards, if you don't love on them, if you don't recognize them? We're going to have an unsung hero. So people will be able to nominate. We don't know who they are. And then we're going to say who it is at the gala. So you got to come. You got to get your tickets to see who you nominated for. Yes. So it's going to be, we have to do you a red carpet. It's going to be amazing, Ted. I'm all about community, diversity, and having fun.
And with that being said, as you said earlier, Maurita Sutton-Brown, and that wonderful cup you have there. What's the best way for them to find you, learn more about you, follow you, get involved with all of the amazing things that you're doing, buy your books? How can they reach you?
I am Maurita Sutton-Brown on every meta, which would be Instagram and Facebook. LinkedIn, let's see. You know the best way? Google me. I'm Google verified. Yes, Google Maurita Sutton-Brown and every part of my life will come up. Probably where I was 2 nights ago at Boxy. I will go on Google. I will go on Google and crack myself up because I'm like, oh, so Google was with me that night. I post a picture and it goes straight to Google. So the best way to find me is Google or use my name on any social media outlet. And oh my God, this was amazing.
Hey, this was it. You don't even need me. I could take myself off the whole time. I love it.
Oh, stop it, Ted. You have to be here with me. I love you.
I love you and I appreciate you. And I love all of the work that you do and the love that you put into other people. That is palpable. If you've ever seen it, I want you guys to experience it. You can go to lifecoachmaurita.com. You can Google her. You can reach out to me. Find her on all social media platforms. I love and appreciate you and all that you do. God bless you, Maurita. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you for having me on the show. You are an amazing man. I love your platform. I love what you do for the community.
Thank you. All right, y'all, reach out to her. Start with lifecoachmaurita.com or like she said, Google her. We'll see you guys later.